Okay. My man is checking out other women, and what is the best way to address this?
All right, then I was just going to state these things. You know, I'm all about circular dating and not getting exclusive with a man unless you get everything you want, the ring, the whole, why be exclusive? What is the point of that? Men will tell you, well, how can I trust you if I don't know I can trust you? It's all just bullshit. It's effing bullshit. Your grandmothers had dance cards. This is something new that men have concocted. Exclusivity. It's all to their benefit. It is not to yours. You want to circular date. You want to be available to men everywhere until a man just wants you and jumps up at you and offers you everything. If there's any confusion on his part at all, you just keep circular dating. Men do need time. They need a year or two. So what are you supposed to do? Closet yourself away? No. You talk to men everywhere. You have coffee with men out of nowhere. You absolutely do not go exclusive. If you are in a situation that is specific and you think you need to ask me, ask a coach. We'll tell you exactly what to do, how to circular date without actually dating in a way that will keep you sane. Okay. So if you are exclusive with this man and he's still checking out other women, that could just be, hey, of course he's checking out other women. I would expect my husband to check out other women and he doesn't. But I would expect that because I check out other men. I mean, are you deliberately not looking at handsome men? No, that's crazy. So that could be part of your love affair, that he's appreciating other women. Hey, I want you to be big enough to accept that. On the other hand, actually at a party, abandoning you to go talk to another woman, that's something different. Spending time with a woman at work outside of work hours, that's something different. I want you to know the difference between him looking at somebody and getting a little bit of a thrill and then showering you with that energy he got, and him actually involving himself, even in the moment, with the feeling of another woman. That could be a message to you that he's not getting from you. And I believe that you feel that for him. So back to in other segments where we've talked about the opening of yourself and the vulnerability of yourself. So let's look at this part. If he is showing interest in other women and you are exclusive with him, you just say to him and you trust him and say, I noticed that your eyes were on that woman, that girl. And you know what? She is really cute. That girl is really cute. I don't blame you for looking at her. If I was interested, I'd be looking at her too. And I'll bet you on some level of you are interested in her if she's cute. I want you to accept that in yourself. This whole sexuality business is so silly. We should be turned on by everybody. Really. I do not like him. Very quickly blew it. Yes, I want you to revisit that, please. And getting a coach to revisit the fact that you pull away when you don't like something, go ahead and feel it in your body. Ick. You felt scared. You felt that you were going to be abandoned. You felt hurt. You felt that you weren't as good enough. These are all self feelings. These are all things in your own brain. He didn't say them. He just did something that felt good to him. That's all a man does. He does something that feels good to him. I want you to notice what it is that he did and how you react. Back to the catch. So if you are pulling away, you need to speak. If you feel yourself pulling away, you need to catch it. And then you need to speak what Naomi has said here, Natalina has said here, which is, oh, I just felt really cranky and bad. I saw you look at that woman, and all of a sudden I felt jealous. I felt so jealous. And share. I'm feeling jealous. I feel embarrassed that I feel jealous. I feel like I'm not dressed up enough. You know, I'm all sweaty or my hair's tied back and I'm feeling all this stuff. If your guy says, well, you have to handle your jealousy, that is your clue, either that he is not what you want, or he's telling you that he's feeling maligned by you a lot, which means you're shutting down on him a lot. Does it make sense? Clues. You're looking for clues how to open yourself up and stay alive and stay in you. And I'm going to give you an example of something that happened to me to kind of pull this together. Um, my husband has a band. We had a big rehearsal in the house, and there's music going on. I go out to the kitchen, I'm dancing around, and I get to be there with all these guys playing music. It was awesome. And I realized 1 second it came to me, I was not there. I wasn't 100% in me. I was in my brain. How could I be in brain dancing? Because I was thinking. I was thinking about something in the music, or that I was dancing, or I was categorizing something. I was in my head and I noticed. So I want you to start noticing when you are thinking and in your head, and see what it would be like to be empty mind, no thinking. So I did that. I just dropped the thoughts down into my body, and nothing happened. Just like what happened right now. I stopped dancing for a second, and then I felt myself move to the music. And all of a sudden I'm moving and I'm dancing around and I'm feeling, but I'm not thinking. And I could tell the difference. And then I went back to thinking. And then I went into feeling and just being. We have all kinds of tools for this on the siren world and modern siren, the pen we use all kinds of tools to help you get into the not think, because that is where we get into trouble. Because guess what? We're not living. I wasn't living my life. I was in my brain. Try and see what shutting down is doing to you, which is keeping you from living in that moment. And just stop for a second. Step way back from him so that you give yourself some space and really feel what you're feeling. If you are shutting down, you're feeling feelings you don't want to feel. That's what it is. You're feeling feelings you don't want to feel, and you're trying to shut away your own feelings. And it ends up as shutting him away because he triggered those feelings. Make sense? So that's the mechanics of it. That's the science of it. So he triggers you, you get away from him, but you don't want to get away from him just because he triggered you. No, you want to love him for triggering you and getting you to be more in your own life. I think I addressed all the different aspects of it.
Can I share something about
Oh,
that?
please, please do. Please do.
Because there's a comment here about I don't ask questions or do drama, I just shut down and leave. And what I'd answer to that is drama doesn't have to be noisy. Drama is when what's going on inside of us is different from what we are expressing on the outside. So it creates like a disturbance, even when we're quiet, even when I'm not going to say anything, just shut down. It's so loud. The silence is loud. The shutdown is loud. Our energy leaving the room is loud. And I'm not saying you should never leave the room, because sometimes leaving the room is incredibly wonderful and powerful. Carry on.
Aggressive silence. I see that. I
Yes.
think what you just said, Naomi, was totally brilliant. And we ought to put that as a meaningful tool here.
When we're shutting down, we're not really, in my opinion, shutting down from him. We're shutting down primarily from feeling the experience in that moment that's going on inside of us. We're shutting down from, I'm shutting down from this feeling because it just feels too much, and I didn't learn how to process them when I was little, and I just can't do it, and it's too much. And what I've learned to do is just go numb. I'm just going to go numb. I'm just going to shut down. I'm going to do angry, because angry gets to go push out there. And if I push out there at him or at life or at men, then I don't have to take any notice of what's happening in here. So in a way, we don't shut down to a man. We shut down to ourselves and our feelings and our awkwardness and our vulnerable feelings and the tenderness. And I wonder if knowing that, does that make you feel differently? Am I willing to shut down from myself? Because you know what? If I shut down from my fearful feelings, my tenderness, what else am I shutting down from? I mean, does my shutdown, does it have like a little meter on it, or a little, probe that says, oh, I'll open up for this, but I'll shut down for this? I mean, that would be hard work. My feeling is if I shut down from the deeper feelings, the feelings inside of me, I'm shutting down from real excitement, from bliss, from just like beautiful connection. So if we want to feel it all, if we want to feel the real juiciness of life, then let's keep open to the stuff that feels more crumpled, because actually it's not as scary as we think. And that's where I think the real fear comes in. We're actually afraid of the feelings we're going to feel rather than the actual situation. Look at us, all of us, what we've been through in our lives. We've lost people we love. We've been heartbroken. People can do all sorts of things and we survive. What we're afraid of is how we're going to feel about it. And what we're saying here is, it's okay. You can feel it. I believe there's nothing that happens in life that we're not capable. We don't have the equipment to feel. So, and that comes back to that whole thing. I can trust myself to be okay no matter what happens in life, because I can trust myself to feel whatever happens in life, whatever happens in me. So, if you find yourself shutting down, it is that fear. Just take on the idea that you're afraid of the feeling, and actually a feeling yes, it is a totally new skill. Of course it is. Of course it is. Hallelujah. We can learn it. It's just incredible. But when you do it in baby steps, each day, feel a bit more, it becomes part of who you are, it becomes your response, becomes your automatic reaction is I'm going to feel it. So yeah, that's my take on fear.
That was brilliant. Now, Lena, you have anything you want to add to this? This is all pretty masterclassy awesome.
These are all learnable skills, and I just can't stress enough how magical, how wonderful, how important it is just being willing to feel your feelings. We're scared of just experiencing what is. And that's the magic, that's the key to everything, is just being willing to feel what you feel. And we've all got stories paved over all of this of what we think feeling should be. We're all guilty of this. I want to think my way through instead of actually feeling my way through. And what do I do with the feelings? And when the answer is nothing, you're already doing plenty. There was actually there's another couple of questions here. This one kind of feels like it really fits in with all of this. Is like the emotions that we don't want to feel and men don't want to feel. Men don't want to see us crying. And what happens? How do we respond if a man's saying, "Hey, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry." And I don't think this is the compassionate of don't cry, I've got you. But like, don't cry, don't be dramatic. Okay, well, if we're starting with ourselves and when you're in full girl, you're gonna cry no matter what. You're just I'm a girl here. I'm crying, and this I'm in my feelings, and you're not going to just shut that down. You're just not. But if you're in this place where you're asking, why, why am I with this man who can't hold space for me? Well, like, where we can get all up in the headspace. I'm like, okay, well, how can we make this into smaller steps so that both we can feel what we're feeling and also assess, am I blasting him? Am I actually performing? Am I performing an emotion of what I think I'm supposed to be feeling, or the reaction of what I'm feeling, instead of actually being with just the tears, I just really need to feel this right now. And it could even look super ugly. It can be beautifully just not pretty. It can be awesomely not pretty, of just, you may feel yourself saying something like, I really just need to be with this. I've got a coach and I'm really committed to feeling my way, doing things differently. And I've done it that way. And right now, and between sobbing, gasping, ugly cry breaths of, I really just need to feel this right now. And I'm not done feeling it. And I'm committed to being with that. So wherever we're at on this journey,